Hello everyone and welcome to Smart Code. I explained previously the width behavior of HTML block elements, and in this short tutorial I am going to explain the height behavior of HTML block elements. So let's check it out how block behaves in height. All I need is a block element with some content. So let's take a div. As you know, the div is a block element, and if you want, so you can take some other block element like a paragraph or a heading, right? And now in the CSS file, I will target the div and give it a background color so the block becomes visible in the browser. Let's now render the page and see what we got. Not much, right? We have a div with some content, and we haven't specified any width, so that's why div block occupies the whole width. So now we are going to start experimenting with the block height, and I will put a lot of text in the div. Let's say 500 words. Now save the page and render it again in the browser. So the thing that I want you to notice here is block height. You see the height of the block is now changed, and the block adjusted its height after the amount of content. So why is this happening? This is happening because of the height property of block elements is set to auto by default. Like in the CSS file, if you want, so you can write height auto. But it won't make any difference because auto is already set as default. Now, it will make difference when you set it to some other value. Let's say I set the height to 500 pixels. Setting height to some other value means you have assigned a permanent height. Let's now check it out the result in the browser. And now in the browser, you can clearly see the height is now changed to 500 pixels, and the height is now working independently, regardless the size of the content. As you can see by yourself, the content finishes here, and the height is not reacting after the amount of content as it did before. So the bottom line is when you specify a height to some pixels, it starts working independently. Let's now do some more experiment and look how the height is gonna react if the content is too big to fit into it. So in the HTML, I am adding some more text in the div, let's say 500 words. And now in the result you will see the content breaks the block height and goes outside of it. So it's a very common happening. And you may have guessed why this is happening. It's happening because the height is restricted and the content is too big to fit into it. Now in CSS, such phenomena is called overflow. And you need to be careful about overflow whenever you work with a block that has restricted by setting a height. Unfortunately, for managing overflow, CSS provides an overflow property and some other tools. And I will hopefully cover overflow property in a separate video. So that was all about the height behavior of the blocks, and I will see you around in some other video, and thanks for watching.